Oh, we're going in the canoe, and we're gonna discover cool things about nature. Hey everyone, Mr. Pugh here on Nature to Nature with Ann Messerschmidt. How are you doing, Ann?
I'm good, Mr. Pugh. How are you doing?
Very good, and we are here on Kingsley Lake here in Lakeville to discover the wonders of nature. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Now, what is your position again with the city of Lakeville, Ann?
I'm the environmental resources specialist.
The specialist.
Yes.
That's right. She specializes in the environment. Very good. Now we're going to talk about a few things today as we're out here on the canoe. It's so fun. Have you ever been in a canoe with a skunk before?
Not with a skunk.
Oh, it's pretty good, but...
It's a little nerve-wracking.
What's that smell? No, I hope it's not me. I took a shower before we did this segment. But, Ann, why don't you tell us a little bit about Kingsley Lake, where it's located?
Well, Kingsley Lake, it's located just north of Orchard Lake on kind of the west side of Lakeville toward the northern half. It's about, I think it's 40 acres. Wow. And then it's got like 40 acres of backwaters that are kind of mostly floating mats and things. So a lot of people don't count that as the acreage.
You almost hit me with that thing, you know. Watch it.
Sometimes I gotta steer.
Oh, cool. Now, how do you consider the water quality here on Kingsley Lake?
Well, Kingsley Lake is my favorite because it has the best water quality here in Lakeville.
Look, you can see down to the bottom.
You can always see down to the bottom every day of the year.
How is that
possible? Unless there's ice, I suppose.
How is that possible, Ann?
Well, the water quality is so spectacular here because it's not receiving excess nutrients and from runoff from the streets and things.
Sure.
And what's really keeping it the best, though, is all these plants that are in the water.
Oh, well, what kind of vegetation do you have here in Kingsley Lake?
Well, I'll show you some here. There's the most abundant one, especially this time of year, is fern-like pondweed.
What's it called?
Fern-like pondweed.
Is it because it's fern-like?
Yes.
Who came up with that name anyway?
They really come up with simple names. Especially with aquatic plants, so that makes me happy.
Good.
But this is fern-like pondweed, but it lives way down there, and it's really the blanket that you see of plants and what's coming closer to the surface here on both sides of the canoe.
So you're telling me that the plants in the lake help keep it clean?
Absolutely.
How is that possible?
It uptakes the nutrients that come in, and it helps just keep the water clean.
Be careful with that, or I might upchuck something myself. Oh, now, is there any type of animal life here in Kingsley Lake, Ann?
Absolutely, because the water quality is so stellar. We have lots of wildlife that lives here.
Like what?
There's usually Canada geese, which aren't my favorite, but
no.
We also have little things like these little beetles hanging out here on my shirt.
Is that George Paul or Ringo?
I think that's Ringo.
That's a real old joke.
He's missing a antenna on the front.
Oh, how is that possible?
I don't know, but it's just hanging out of my shirt. So it could be, I can't quite remember, but it might be one of the beetles that help control loosestrife out here. The DNR kind of lets them out here, and then they help control the loosestrife.
DNR, what does that stand for?
Oh, sorry, the Department of Natural Resources.
Oh, and what do they do?
They help manage the lakes in a way, but really the city does a lot of the managing of the lakes.
Oh, very good.
The coolest bird that we get out here is the common loon, and they're actually probably the pair that we have here. They keep coming back. They're probably the southernmost nesting pair of loons, and they nest right here in Kingsley Lake, so that's really cool.
I think I'm looking at a common loon too. Oh, that's a good one, wasn't it? What's that smell?
A little bit loony.
What's that smell again? I don't know. Anyway.
So some of these other plants that we're going to go by here, there's some lily pads that are easier to see. Below them is that fern-like pondweed. Ooh. But those are whitewater lilies right there, and then we have. We passed them already, but those bigger leaves back there, those are yellow water lilies, and they're just kind of different kind of plants. You'll see them when it gets a little bit shallower, so it's kind of cool.
Hey, Ann, what are those hubcaps over there?
Those are painted turtles. They're hanging out on the log to kind of sun themselves. They're reptiles, so they don't have the capability to warm themselves with their blood, so they got to get it from the sun.
No, how did they get painted?
I don't know.
That's just how nature made them?
That's how nature made them.
Well, Ann, thank you so much for letting me go out in the canoe here at Kingsley Lake. Anything you'd like to say before we finish up?
Well, you know, I would like you to be out here all day so I could show you all sorts of things.
Oh, I'd love it, but I think I'm getting seasick.
There's a couple other plants just right by us, so let's just check them out.
Oh, okay.
Here is the water shield.
Why do they call it that?
Well, you know, you can see kind of here how the stem comes out the middle, and it just kind of looks like a shield.
Oh,
so that's
cool.
Water shield.
Yeah.
And then, here, look, here's a floating plant
flower?
right here.
Look at that.
It's flowering even. How lovely.
Let's see, does it smell? Oh, Pew, it smells like a lake.
This is northern milfoil. That one's okay. Your
That's
Eurasian
good
water
milfoil?
not so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then over here, this is kind of cool. This is a tuber from those yellow water lilies that I was talking about before. So they just look so bizarre. It's the roots of the plant, and they sometimes come to the surface. I don't know if it's from animals. They like to eat them, so they might be rooting them up a little bit.
Ooh, animals like to eat that green slime stuff on top of the water.
Absolutely. Well, the green slimy stuff, that's just that's algae, and it's kind of that doesn't even look like filamentous, but it's one of the. There's lots of kinds of algae.
I have a friend whose name is Algae. Algae Smith. Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
But yeah, that green gooey bubbly stuff, that just kind of comes again due to the nutrients in the water, but the
Nutrients
plants
are good, right?
Mostly, but when it's in excess, that's when we get the big algae blooms and the whole water column looks green and you don't even want to swim in it.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people don't really like plants in the water because they like to swim in nice water without weeds around them. But
True.
these are very helpful to lakes and are important to keep around. Without them, then we have bad water quality and all sorts of terrible things.
Well, Ann, this has been so much fun and very educational being here on Kingsley Lake. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Hey, seeing though we're already out here, let's play hooky and go around a couple more times, okay?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Wait a minute, what's that smell? Can't figure out what that is.